Welcome to another exciting episode of Doug's Electronic Repair Bench.
Afternoon, YouTube. I'm here with you this afternoon to bring you a little look at the Zenith A-410-L FM AM radio. I thought I made this introduction the other day when I actually started this, which was Monday, I think. And that's the first video part you will see is me on the bench taking the radio apart to find out what the problem is with the FM. So I thought I made one of these, but apparently I didn't. So anyway, this is going to serve as that purpose. So I guess that's about all I had to say about that. So I'm going to take a look at this radio and see what I can find out on it and go from there. So here's the video. Alright, got this thing all apart now. I thought I would get a head start on tomorrow's activities. You can see I got the speaker out. And got everything removed from the cabinet. And what I'm going to do is I'm thinking, it is my thought, or whatever that's worth, just a very generalized diagnosis. The fact that I'm not getting any kind of stations in FM, I get static, but no stations. That would seem to indicate to me no oscillator. Again, I have no confirmation of that or anything like that, so that's just what I'm thinking first off. What I want to do is probably put some signals in, see what I've got where, and we use the generator for that. And first thing I'm going to do is put a 10.7 IF frequency through it, see if that comes through. If that comes through, that's another point for the no oscillator. So that's what we're going to do next, and I probably won't do that until tomorrow. I just want to get this thing apart and show you a little bit about what I've got found here. This is pretty straightforward. These are move this around a little bit so you can see what everything's down there. This is the audio output transistor right here. Get a little closer to that. You can probably see that a bit better now. It's using this as a heatsink. So that's that. And that probably makes, wherever it's at, I can't see. Yeah, there it is. That's probably the first audio amp. And right there. And it goes back from there, I think, is what the way it looked like on the schematic, or not the schematic, but the diagram. Looks to me like there's another transistor underneath the volume control, and not sure what's this. May be shields for IF transformers or transistors here. Like I said, they're all on well, except for this one here. Not sure what that is. I'll have to look on the diagram. But anyway, oh, there they are. I'm looking at it wrong. Here's the transistors. RF. So this is a mixer converter. IF. IF. Detector. Audio and audio. So that's going to be my guess. So out of these here, I think what I'm going to concentrate on first, this one here, that'd be the mixer oscillator. Not really sure where the coils on these are very hard to adjust sometimes because they're just coils of wire, and you basically, what you do is you bend them apart or push them together depending on what you want to do, and they're a little difficult to adjust. Now I'd like to hook a scope up, I don't have it in here yet, and see if the oscillator is running that way, but you know, it's hard to do. So what I'll do again is in the morning is take and inject a 10.7 megahertz IF signal through the radio, and if it comes out the speaker, then we'll probably take and inject some known signals here, see if I can get a station in, and I think that will tell us if it's working or not. There are some good test points on this radio too. See, there's I think it's L or C. I can't even make it out. C, I think. That's a test point. That's a test point right there. And each of these test points are good places to inject signals and measure signals, as a matter of fact. So, and there's one there, I think. It may not be. maybe that one. I don't know. There's a 5 there. You can see FM antenna input, reverse AGC, first IF, FM IF, second FM IF, third FM IF, ratio detector input, and third FM IF output, FM detector output, B minus FM and B minus AM, and can't remember that last one. But anyway, auxiliary maybe, auxiliary something, RF input or IF input. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, is playing around with this. And this is a another thing I want to point out. Here we can see. There's our right there is our plug, and if you run that back, you see that it connects to the B minus, I should say, connects to one side of the power cord. So that means this is a live chassis. So we have to take caution by plugging this into the isolation transformer, which we will do, and then that way we'll be safe from shock hazards of grounding ourselves anyway. This should be an easy fix, and I'd like to use a signal substitution on this, but I don't have any. This is why the reason I bought this was to have something that was readily accessible so I can get to and get to the parts and things like that. So this will be my my one for that, and the one that's coming in is the one I'll be using to troubleshoot, because it supposedly doesn't work at all. So we shall see on that how that works out, but I guess that's about all I have for this time. So anywho, you guys, we'll catch you tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Morning, YouTube. As you can see, we have a different kind of morning out there. It is snowing and has snowed. I think it's currently like 17 or 18 degrees. So that sucks. But it is what it is. I'm nice and warm on the inside, so that's all that matters to me. Gonna get back onto the looking at this Zenith radio here very shortly, and see if we can't find out why the FM's not working. So stay tuned for that. Alright, back in here with the Zenith again. I have the necessary probe I was looking for the other day and I couldn't find, so as you saw, we got quite a bit of snow now on the ground, which is a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. Winter time, I guess you kind of expect stuff like that. What I'm going to do is connect this to the antenna terminal, and then we'll turn the radio on, see what we get. As you can see, I'm at 10.73, which is pretty close to the correct frequency for this IF on this. What we're attempting to do basically is just to hear the IF, and it will be, let me get this on. Alright, I'll plug this in here, because we need to use the variac, well actually the isolation transformer, mainly what we're using on this. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on and turn it up to 115. We've already tested the radio, we know it's working. Alright, so that's the AM there, so we're going to switch over here to FM. Maybe it is FM. Yep, it is FM. We should be hearing nothing, basically. So I'm going to shut this off and see if it goes to a bigger static. So I'm going to try a tone with it. That doesn't mean it will get through. Some FM receivers pick up the AM modulation tone, some don't. So we'll see what it does. Turn it up a hair. You can hear it very faintly in there. Looks like the modulation's off a little bit, but you can see now we're going to tune this. I could tune it all day long, and nothing happens. That means the IF frequency of 10.8 in this case is making it through the radio all the way to the audio. So, as I originally pondered, this is probably a bad FM oscillator. So, that's probably what we'll look at, is the oscillation stage on there, and see if I can determine anything wrong in there. So, that's a pretty good indication. And we're going to count that a winner. Again, like I said, if you remember back on the what was it, well, the first troubleshooting thing I did when we were trying to troubleshoot for no oscillator, basically it's the same thing. You know, when you have the audio section's working and the IF frequency makes it through the radio to the audio, that means generally that all the stages are good because it's working, but it's not tuning because the oscillator is not functioning. So I think that right there is the oscillator that I'm touching. I just tried to move it a little bit, see if there was maybe a bad solder joint or something like that. Sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. Apparently it didn't in this case. So anyway, that's pretty much what we're looking at. So we're going to stop this right here and get this set up for checking the voltages around the oscillator. Maybe checking that transistor again. That's me touching it. Like I said, let me get this set up for the next shots, and we'll see what we got. So, be right back. I just want to bring you back for one other bit of information here. The IF amplifiers for the AM and FM are shared. These each one of these transistors will amplify the AM IF as well as the FM IF. So that fact seems to indicate, because the AM works, that those transistors are working. Those stages are working, we're going to say, because it does work in AM. Okay, there's the FM oscillator, actually the converter, mixer, whatever you want to call it, right there. So we should have, looks like 11.5 volts on the collector, 0.8 on the emitter, and 1.5 volts on the base. So we're going to check that out next, see what we got. Alright, back again. I'm getting ready to check some voltages here. As you can see, here's the view I'm looking at here is the multimeter, the digital multimeter. It's set on 20 volts DC. You can see in the background here, let me move that just a hair, you can see radio is currently at let's see, I'm going to put it up a little bit to 115 right there, and we're going to go from there. So again, what I should have is let me see, on the base, I can't see it, 1.5 volts on the base is what we should be looking for. So I'm going to put this on the base. get away without killing myself here. Alright, we got a minus 9.9 or 9.8 volts. That's not good. Let me check the 11.5 volts on the collector. Let's see if we got that. 11.5 volts on the collector. Nope. I gotta double check, make sure I'm getting the right place. I see Q2. That's what we're looking at. There's collector, and there's the emitter. So, I think that's our problem. We have no correct voltage there at all. So let's check and see where these voltages derive from, and see what the problem could be here. So, hang on there. All right, I'm going to take a break here and study that a little bit. I can't hardly see it without looking at the thing, so let me do that, and we'll get back with you as soon as I have something to report.